said, Mom, I had a dream after waking up of like my aunt coming to me and stuff like that. And she's like, oh, what was the dream about? And then she told my grandma about it. And my grandma was like, maybe she came to speak to you, you know, like she needed help in that moment. And I was like, no, this is ridiculous, because I told you I didn't believe.
You didn't believe it.
And then a white butterfly literally just passed me on the same day in that moment and passed through me. It always comes as a white butterfly. Always.
It's so crazy that you saw the butterfly in your dream and you saw it in reality
The same
again.
in reality. Do you ever get that feeling that someone is behind you or something, or someone's staring at you, or someone like is there physically but you can't see them? That the back of your neck stand up.
A lot, yeah.
Like
I
all
feel
that feeling
presence.
is the presence of something.
From the horse's mouth is an outlet for people that have unbelievable stories to share. Stories that can be classified as supernatural. Today we have Leela here, and she's got a story to share with us. Nice to have you here, Leela.
Thank you for inviting me over. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. So Leela, could you please walk me through like your background?
I was born in Angola in 1990, and I lived there until I was 9 years old. Then I came over to the UK and to London specifically, and I pretty much grew up here with Angolan parents, but also there's Portuguese ancestry. Because a lot of people always ask, are you like mixed or you're Asian or something like that? And I was like, no, I'm a mixed race, Angolan and Portuguese. But I was born there. I was born in Angola during the war.
During the war,
Yeah.
did that impact like your upbringing in any way?
Yeah, because I remember when I was growing up, my dad was a part of the military actually.
Oh, wow.
He was fighting for MPLA, which is the running party at the moment. It's been running for many years now, and I think the war only finished in 2002, so I was already here when it finished. And we used to hear like gunshots and stuff like that. There was a moment that I was home, and UNITA, which was the other party, had entered. UNITA, yeah.
UNITA.
Which is the other party, had entered Luanda, and my dad was called to go and fight. We could hear literally gunshots outside, hid under the bed, me, my brother, my mum, because that's the only way to protect. Either go under the table, under the bed, and it probably lasted about 20 minutes, even longer. I just don't know. I was too young to remember, and yeah, like my parents were like, we need to leave. It's getting very dangerous now. So we came to the UK around that time.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was the transition like for you moving from Angola to the UK?
Oh, it was completely different. First of all, the weather was completely different. So we loved it being cold. Nowadays, I'm like, no, I prefer the hot weather than I do the cold. Also, everything was new. As in, my cousins were here, my grandma was here, so it was just nice to obviously be a part of the family, because a lot of my cousins that were back home, they were older than we were, and the ones here were like around the same age range as we were, so me and my brother. And yeah, it was nice. There are moments that I still miss being back home, but it gave us an opportunity, because I used to go to private school when I was in Angola, and due to safety we couldn't walk around without a bodyguard or anything like that. So coming here, you can go on buses, you can go and train freely. And my dad had just opened a security company back home as well, so he was like, look, I've got work, you guys can stay in London while I'm here working. So yeah, it was completely different scenarios and environment.
What sort of spiritual background?
Spiritual, oh my god. My grandma, she used to be actually a spiritual guide back in the days. She doesn't do anything anymore right now. So growing up with that, although I shun away from that sector. I was always like, oh, I used to be like, I don't believe in it. I feel like you guys are going and you're gonna call bad spirits into you guys. I don't believe on this type of things. But a lot of things have happened throughout my years growing up that have made me believe in obviously spirits, and what, like the word saying stuff, like the word of attraction is also another way that can attract certain spirits or certain beings and stuff like that. So my spirit background is from there.
When you say spirit guide, what I feel like every religion has like its own type of spirit guide, but with like different names.
Yeah.
What type of, is there like a religion, or is
That
there
I
like
believe in, or?
no, that your grandmother practices? Is there like something? Is it like African spirituality? Is it like,
it's African. I don't know exactly what sector it is, but it's definitely African spirituality. We come from a Bantu tribe, right?
Bantu,
yeah.
okay.
So the language that my grandma used to speak, which I never learned, used to be Kimbundu.
Kimbondo. Is that from Angola?
That's from Angola,
Okay.
yeah. There's so many languages around. So it was Kimbundu. Although I never learned it, she used to speak, and my grandma from my mom's side also used to speak Kimbundu. It's specifically based in one area in Angola. It's from Malange region, because there's the one at the capital and there's other regions. So she used to speak Kimbundu, which I think she still does till this day. So I don't specifically know what tribe, like not tribe, but spiritual guy that they used to have back then.
What was that job? Like as a spirit guide, what do you do?
She used to obviously speak to spirits, ask questions and all this stuff. People used to come to her, ask for advice, stuff like that. And personally, I never participated around that thing, but that's what she used to do back in the days. And then after that, she started attending church, so she changed her ways of doing things. And but yeah, that's what she used to do back a long time ago. Yeah.
So I'd like you to share your story with us.
Yes. So when I was around 12 years old or 13, my aunt had passed away. She had passed away of cancer. Back then, cancer wasn't as advanced as it is now. And I remember that when she had passed, I had dreamed of her. And in the dream that she came to me asking for help. She came to ask me, like, look, help me. There's things, she wouldn't explain what it was. They said something's after me. And I remember in my dream going after like certain shadows, and fighting them and going, don't touch her, leave her alone. Like she doesn't want to go with you guys. And I remember also saying to her, just run away. But she couldn't, like she was physically stuck into that environment. And I was fighting them, and then after, in my dream, it went to a second cycle, I think, into the dream, where she came in the window as a butterfly to me. And I found it strange. I was like, I said, Mom, I had a dream after waking up of my aunt coming to me and stuff like that. And she's like, oh, what was the dream about? And then she told my grandma about it, and my grandma was like, maybe she came to speak to you, like she needed help in that moment. And I was like, no, this is ridiculous, because I told you I didn't believe.
You didn't believe it.
And then a white butterfly literally just passed me on the same day in that moment and passed through me. Like not through me, but like passed in the same area as I.
Was it the same butterfly you saw in your dream?
Yes, same exact butterfly. It wasn't the only time that it happened, because when my second aunt passed away, the same type of scenario happened. Not the fighting scenes, but a butterfly. Because I said, if you're here in this moment with me, come as a white butterfly. And she came as a white butterfly.
Wait, your second auntie?
Two sisters. They were both sisters. And they had come as a butterfly to me twice. One had passed years ago, the other one passed in 2012. 21.
And your grandmother that was a spirit guide thought
She probably came to speak to me. She needed help in that moment, and that's why she came in my dream to have that conversation with me. Because obviously spirits were after her in that moment. Probably bad spirits, I don't know, but it was just it's a very weird situation, because I didn't believe, as I told you, I didn't believe in spirituality and all those things. I was like, no, I don't believe in it, until those things happened to me. And you know what? It always comes as a white butterfly. Always.
Twice. It's happened twice.
Twice. White butterfly. Yeah, it's crazy.
Did you... It's so crazy that you saw the butterfly in your dream and you saw it in reality.
The same
again.
in reality.
And what was your reaction to that? Seeing that
as a 12
butterfly?
years old, you don't understand it still, because I was young in the first one. I was 12 years old. It happened 2002, 2003, around that time. And you don't understand, because when your mother was telling me, oh, maybe she came to you, and I was like, no, she didn't. It's a coincidence, you know. And then when my aunt passed away in 2021, which was recent years, I said in that moment, if you're here with me, because I was thinking about it, I was like, if you're here with me, come as a white butterfly. And literally a white butterfly passed.
Did that not scary?
That I don't know, because it gave me a sense of like, oh, she's still alive, and she's with me in that sense. So it wasn't as scary in that moment, because you know that there's a sense of she's okay. Because if she wasn't, then she wouldn't have replied to me in that moment. For a way that I had spoken, I said, come to me as a white butterfly. And my grandma's always said there's always spirits around us all the time. You know, like there's always spirits. And with that...
You or everyone?
Around, just in general. There's spirits around. There's either good or bad spirits around. Like, one thing, I'm Catholic when it comes to religion. One thing we always do before buying a house is put holy water to make sure that any evil spirits leave. Yeah, that's one thing that we always do in that sense, because spirits could be anyway, you know, like they but there's also saying the living are more scary than the dead.
Yeah, I've heard that.
The living are more scary than the dead, because the dead, in that sense, they can't physically touch you. You know, they can't physically touch you. So when a butterfly came to me, she wasn't there to harm me. She wasn't there to physically do anything bad to me. She just wanted me to know that she was okay, you know? When my aunt came to me as a butterfly.
So you don't think they can physically manifest?
It could happen.
Or you don't believe they can physically manifest?
Do you know what? I don't say they can't or cannot, because you never know. There's strong spirits, there's a weak spirits. So I never say never. After watching the butterfly coming from me, I never say never when it comes to that, you know? Because I didn't believe before. I told you, like, before I used to be like, no, this is just fairy tales, and this is just people saying, like, grandma, like, I know that you were into this stuff before, so I don't believe it. But then also, this has nothing to do with the story with the butterfly, but when I was very young as well, when I was here, I was in a church, and my grandma was there was a lady at the church, and my grandma was like, oh, she's a witch. She's a witch. And then I was like, to me, I'm like, this is not believable. I kept looking at this lady when I was in church. I kept looking this is here in England.
Oh.
I kept looking at this lady over and over and over again. And she looked at me because she saw that this little girl was looking at her consistently. She looked at me. She wasn't very pleased, obviously, because I was staring her down, because I was like, oh, is she a witch? And either it was a coincidence, but on the same day, I was playing on the stairs. I fell, I hit my back, and I couldn't talk for a few minutes or seconds or something like that. But I still have the mark from that staircase falling till this day in my back. Because it really hit me on my back, and it caused a mark. So I still have the mark from that day. So I do believe that there's been people that can communicate with spirits out there. There's people that can. I just don't try to, but I do believe that there's spirits out there that talk or know what's going on around us.
You said, what was the correlation between you falling and the witch? You believe she did that to you?
Possibly.
Or you think she probably hexed you or something?
I don't know if it's a hex specifically, but she must have did. I don't know if it was this, but she must have did something, because she was still staring at me while we came outside, and I was playing on the stairs, and I just felt like I just ended up falling, and it was just either, as I said, a coincidence or something she must have said, you know.
So about like spirits and stuff, I had someone share a story with me about where they had their aunt come visit them. They physically opened the door, the aunt physically walked in, and she left to say she was coming back. When he was he was young at the time, at like 15. When he shared that story with his parents, they were like, yeah, she died a year ago. Yeah.
I believe that could have happened.
They were looking at him like, it's just unbelievable. Like, what you're saying is not possible.
That's what a lot of people think, that it's not possible, but why would you believe it's not possible? Because of science? Specifically? Because science itself, there's a lot of things in science that a lot of people still don't know till this day. You can't really say that the universal planet is just specifically tied down to science, There's many things that happen on Earth that still to this day they can't prove, Do you ever get that feeling that someone is behind you or something, or someone's staring at you, or someone is there physically but you can't see them? That the back of your neck stand up. What that feeling is the presence of something, sometimes when someone's doing something, that to me could be a spirit passing or something like that in that moment, as to why your body's reacting a certain way that it will react to a physical being there in that moment, Like my grandma, not the one that used to practice, but my mum's mum, she used to say, don't whistle at night. And I was like, why?
My dad used to say that to me as well.
Don't whistle at night.
Get really upset.
Yeah, don't whistle. I'm like, why? Because you're calling the spirits to the house. And I used to be like, this is like, my mum used to be like, oh, this is ridiculous, mum. What are you talking about? Don't whistle at night,
He never really gave me a reason, so I used to just think, as a child, maybe because they had whistling, you might, because we're living close to bushes.
Yes.
So I used to just think maybe a snake might come in the house, but he never gave his reason. But he would warn you, never you whistle at night.
The same thing my parents used to say to me, specifically my mom used to be like, don't whistle at night, or don't sing at night. I'm like, what? Why? What's wrong with singing at night? And she'd be like, you never know, spirit could be coming in and stuff like that. Or that got sometimes at night when there's the gust of wind that comes in, like a very forceful wind, she used to always say close the door quickly and stuff like that, because you never know. Till this day, I still walk around with my hand like this when I pass through lampposts, because my grandma used to say that used to be bad luck. Bad luck. I do it like this.
So you believe that protects you?
So in Angola, this is like a word to say, I don't know the specific word in English, but we call it figures, which means to stop any bad things from happening. I don't know if you guys have that in.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I might not know.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something.
Yeah.
But all we know is blood of Jesus, really.
See, that's my grandma used to say that, and the blood. I know exactly.
That's what we do.
Yeah, so my grandma used to be like, if you're walking under a lamp or anything like that, just go like this, it'll protect you. And I used to believe it as a young girl, so I used to do it like this. So till this day, not with knowing that I'm doing it, subconsciously, I just do this. and before I know it, I'm like this, doing that. So I definitely do believe that there's beings out there, and that the spirits and stuff like that. I don't like to talk about it because I feel like attraction, power of attraction, you know. When you call for something, do you know those Ouija boards that people do?
Yeah.
The ones that they do. I would never touch one of those because you never know, you know. I don't want to call nothing that needs to be called, because the power of attraction and is very powerful.
So you never like go to, you're not one of these people that would probably go to like a medium, get a reading, speak to like a psychic, stuff like that?
To be fair, I've done it in the past, like psychic.
You've gone to a medium?
Yeah, I was not a medium. I've done like gone to a psychic before and stuff like that, just to see, but not to speak to.
Do you believe it?
In certain ways, yes and no. Like, I feel like certain things they just say, obviously, things that are like very knowledgeable.
General.
And then other things, I've seen cases of mediums saying things for people that have been truthful and stuff like that. I haven't really like gone for a medium to ask anything about my family member who passed away. I believe speaking to the dead is something that I'd rather just keep it there. When I went to a medium, it was more to do about future careers and stuff like that, love, but not just to ask exactly when it comes to my career, like what's the universe saying, you know, but not specifically to do with anything with spirits.
You see the experience where you said if the butterfly experience, how did that like impact your life from that moment, especially when it happened the second time? How did that impact your life in terms of like spirituality, in terms of like the way you think, the way you see people, the way you look at life, your outlook in general? How did that impact it?
You know, it's crazy because, as I think I told you one of the moments, I'm Catholic when it comes to religion, and in Catholicism, when you die, you go to heaven, right? And it's heaven or hell. There's no in between, stuff like that. And to me, I think seeing the butterfly made me believe in reincarnation in some sense, because why would you appear as a butterfly if you haven't reincarnated into something? Yeah. So when I wasn't like I was a hardcore practicing Catholic or anything like that, but I used to believe like, oh, there's only heaven and hell, there's no in between, there's no reincarnation and stuff like that, because the Bible doesn't teach that, right? Like reincarnation. But then in that moment I started thinking maybe there is reincarnation, you know, like there must be, because why would that happen? You know, like why would she come? Like I'm saying in that moment, what is the probability of a white butterfly coming when I say, if you're here, I'm thinking of you, if you're here, come as a white butterfly. Okay.
That's so significant, because I think there are people that believe that butterfly is such a sacred, should I say, animal or insect. So there are so many people that believe it's sacred. That's why, you know, they share that connection with the butterfly, and they believe when someone dies, they actually turn into a butterfly. Did you have that belief before that experience?
Zero.
Did they have that belief?
Like I said before, before I had those, even when I was 12 years old, I was like, I don't believe in witchcraft. I don't believe in spirits being around. I only believe in heaven and hell, and that is exactly just it. You know, like it. Because after that, I was young and I was like, no, this is ridiculous. It's only one time situation. It hasn't happened again. And it's funny you say that, because recently I was on Instagram, and you know, I never said anything. I don't type butterflies on my search history or anything like that. And a video of a guy getting married in, I think it was somewhere in Asia, Chinatown or something like that. And his grandma had passed away, and he was at his wedding, and he said, I wanted you to be here at my wedding right now, and if you're here, come to me, show me that you're here. And the white butterfly passed.
A white one?
A white one. And that's when I said it's always a white butterfly. And I think I must have put it down in the comments. It's always a white butterfly It's always a white butterfly.
Wow. So that's something to look out for them. Have you tried it again since the second time?
No, I don't think I have.
Have you like not necessarily
to say
not
to
say
come to
someone
me?
to
Yeah.
come to you, but have you tried to like communicate with something outside of like yourself, outside of the physical?
No, I think I've always never wanted to touch any of the physical, because after that moment I'm like, if it's true and you can attract certain beings, I'd rather not attempt it. It's like, if there's energies, if there's bad energy, because even energy itself can be bad energy. You just feel it for certain people. They come with bad energy or anger and stuff like that. And I'm like, if there's bad energy around, I don't want to attract bad energy, you know? Like, I don't want to be a part of that. So I haven't tried since that moment to say, come to me, or say, I'd rather... like, it's a scary experience, yeah? I think in that moment when I saw the butterfly, it wasn't scary because I knew it was gonna come. Like, in that, because I had expected it, yeah. But if it's something that I don't want in that moment, then yeah.
You didn't feel any rush?
I don't
Did you
know.
Feel any type of power?
Yeah, I don't. No, I didn't feel like, oh, I can contact spirits.
Yeah.
It was more of a sense of that spirit chose to contact me rather than me contacting them. They chose to contact me. They chose to show to me. I don't have the power to tell them to come whenever I want to, you know? Like, they choose. They felt like in that moment I needed it, because I was missing my aunt for a very long time. I was like, oh, she had passed away. Like, I miss her. And I was thinking about, like, we had unresolved arguments and stuff like that.
Oh.
So I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? Like, I feel like our unresolved argument, like...
The big question is, why you?
Why me?
Why did your aunt come to you as a butterfly? Was there like a special thing?
Yeah, the first one, she was my favorite auntie. She was the one that I was closest to, you know? Like, I used to go to her house every weekend. She used to love when I used to go there. So I feel like she came to me because she knew that I could have helped her, you know? Like, I could help her. And in that sense, it made, after I was explaining that she came to you for help and stuff like that, there was a sense of calmness from me. I was calm. I was like, oh, I helped her in a sense, you know? And the second one, she was my godmother. She wasn't my favorite aunt because we had fallen out in the past, but she was my favorite aunt, the one that not my favorite, my godmother. So she's done my Holy Communion, my baptism, that she was the godmother for, and I feel like she chose me because I feel like she knew that I needed that closure, because we didn't have a closure in our argument in the past, and I was saying, like, I'm sorry for not coming to see you when you were with cancer, because she was bedridden, she was at hospital, and I never really had spoken to her about what had caused us to fall out. So, and I apologized, and I was like, I'm sorry for not speaking to you then, and I feel like she knew that I needed to see that everything's okay with her, you know? So I think those are the two reasons why both of them chose me. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like those are the two reasons that I can come up with in the moment.
So the second encounter gave you that sort of like resolution? I
think so. Like, it was a resolution in some sense, because I felt like she took my apology, you know? She said, look, I'm here. Apologies accepted. I'm okay, you know? And the first one, I feel like I was the only one that could help her in some sense. She came and talked to me. She's not going to go to her daughters. That would be a very scary experience, to see your mum asking you for help, you know?
When you say help her, do you think you did that? Do you think you helped her?
I think I did. I feel like when I saw the butterfly, because she came to me as a butterfly in my dream. And then in real life, she came again the same day as a butterfly. And I said,
freedom.
Yeah, exactly. But white butterflies are not something that you constantly see either. I'm not saying that butterflies are sacred, because you do see butterflies around, but white butterflies and stuff like that, I haven't really seen that much around. I don't think so. The last time I saw one was when I had with my second aunt the butterfly situation come up.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a very revealing situation, the second one, because it really actually made me believe in reincarnation. You know, like maybe we can reincarnate as human beings.
Does that make you less scared of death?
Yes and no, because my Catholic way of thinking things, I'm like, there's only heaven and hell. My other way is like, no, reincarnation could exist, you know? I feel that reincarnation could possibly only happen to those who are in limbo. Because there's a saying, once you die, like, God judges you. Some people probably done same good and same bad, like it's in limbo, like he can't decide if he done more good than bad, you know?
Is that how limbo works? For me, I've always thought limbo is just basically, you know, you're waiting for the ultimate judgment, so you're just roaming around. Like, you're not in hell, you're just there waiting for the ultimate judgment for when everyone will be judged. I never thought like get judged instantly. Yeah.
I don't think limbo, I always thought that limbo was the same as you, that you just wait to get judged. But then made me think maybe limbo is reincarnation, you know? That's seeing that moment made me believe that limbo is reincarnation, because they're probably being reincarnated again to see if they're gonna be doing good or bad, and then they make the final judgment. That's what made me believe in that moment. Is it true? No one knows. Like, it's something that you only find out when you leave this universe, you know? That's why I always say, do more good than bad, because you don't want to be stuck in limbo, you know? That's what I felt like, reincarnation. It made me see it as something that is possible, you know? Because before I was like, no, it doesn't, like heaven or hell, that's it.
So it's safe to say that those two experiences has shaped your person.
I don't think the first one changed.
The second one.
The second one, yeah. The first one was, I was too young to understand, you know? I felt like it was more of a sense of, oh, it's just a coincidence, it happened, you know? Like, although my grandma was telling me like, oh no, she came to you and spoke to you, possibly, I just believed that it was just a fluke, the first one, you know? Like, that's what I believed when I was young. I was like, oh, this is nothing. The second one, yeah, definitely, I'm older, more like, wow, this is weird. Why would this happen in this moment? Exactly right now, when I speak of it, you know, like in this moment. Then I start thinking, science, in a scientific way, the probability of that happening is very small. Not saying that it's impossible, but it's very small of that happening in that moment, you know. And I used to think, you know, like it doesn't exist. It doesn't, like witchcraft, spirits doesn't exist. There's only heaven and hell, because when you're believing in a religion, that's all you believe.
That's two major concepts.
There's too many concepts. Like religious Leela was like, no, this is crazy. What are you talking about? But then the Leela with morals and stuff like that and stuff happening too, like, I'm like, no, this could be a reincarnation situation. Does it stop me from being scared of death? No, the answer to that is no, because I still don't know what's going to happen to me when I die, you know? Then there's a saying, have I done more good on earth than I've done bad? I don't know. I'm trying to do more good, but you never really know, you know? Because human nature itself, when we lie every day, lying is a sin, right? So I always say that, but do I think me believing in spirituality will anger God? I don't know.
Have you ever come across someone that's had similar experience, apart from the video you showed me?
I've seen people talk about like saying that they've witnessed witchcraft and stuff like that, and they've seen stuff happen to like family members have passed away. My grandma always says that anything bad she thinks it's attributed to witchcraft, and I'm like, Grandma, no, And then my Catholic way is like, no, this is not true.
No.
This is not, everything's not attributed to
I
witchcraft.
don't agree with that. I think every practice has evil in it, because for good to exist, evil needs to be there, and that's what makes everything whole.
Exactly. That's what I said.
Even as a person.
Yeah, but then she says, oh, like if this is happening or something like that, it's someone said something about you. Do you know that there's, I don't know if you guys have that saying, but when you bite your tongue, someone's speaking about you.
I've heard that before. Yeah,
when you bite your tongue,
you sneeze, there's so many ways. So many. If you can't sleep, you're in someone else's dream.
Exactly. Like there's so many things that happen. Bite your tongue, if your ears are hurting or red.
I think you're lucky to even have a grandmother that will tell you, this is what it is, interpret it for you, and also not make you feel like you're losing your mind, or you're, like it's all far-fetched. And what would you say to people that maybe have had that same type of experience, but they've been made to feel bad, or made to feel like they're losing their minds? What would you say to them?
I'll say to them, look, if it has happened to you, it's something that you couldn't control, If people think you're crazy for saying something that you experienced, then you really need to say to them, look, unless you've gone through it, you don't know what goes on, you don't understand that there's something like the spirits out there. And say to them as well, there's so many videos now that show that there's like spirits and stuff like that. Say, look, this has happened to other people that didn't believe in things, Just be strong on what you believe in, and don't fall into the thing going on, you're crazy because you believe in certain things. A lot of people like to do textbook diagnosis, like say like, no, you're crazy. They're only saying that because they're afraid, and fear is feeding them, because they're afraid that it could be a possibility. So just be strong, believe in what you do. If you pray. If you believe that something's after you or something like that, go see a medium or speak to someone that is close to you that can help you. And just believe in what has happened to you. Like I didn't. That's what I did. I was like, I believe that this has happened to me. I know people might think I'm crazy, but who cares? Like it's what happened to me.
It's your experience.
It's my experience. Yeah, exactly. It's my experience. So who's someone else to say this hasn't happened to you and that you're crazy? I haven't been diagnosed with any bipolar or any schizophrenic disease or anything like that. So for you to textbook diagnose me because this has happened to me, it's more out of your fear rather than my reality. So that's what I was saying to them.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, fear is a drive to why people don't believe.
We fear what we don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What you don't know is very scary, Like a lot of people when I was talking about church and stuff like that, dying. That's why a lot of people fear death, because they don't know. Even though they read the Bible and all the stuff, that they still feel like inside of them they don't know what's going to happen to them. So I actually feel sorry for them, because the fear of not knowing, or the fear of like the possibility of this happening, has actually probably has had situation where they did go through something supernatural and they're too scared to talk about it themselves because they are afraid of the possibility of something that has happened to them. So that's why I would advise them.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having
so
me.
much for coming to share this beautiful story.
Thank you for having me.
Maybe I'll try it. I'll look out for white butterflies as well.
Yeah, it's like, honestly, it's something that can happen to you as well. You can see one, like you're calling a family member and you can see one and stuff like that. So watch out. You never know.